Hello there. So in this video I'm going to talk to you about an IKEA scam that I encountered. Now this scam wasn't all that it seemed at first, and I think this will be interesting to you if you, well, I just think it'll be interesting to you, so that's why I'm making the video. So let me give you a little bit of background. Middle of December, I went to the IKEA in my local city and I purchased a plant, and you can see the plant on the screen now. What a lovely plant. About £45 it was, which is quite reasonable actually for an artificial plant, just as a side point there. I also bought a plant pot for it and some light bulbs, but none of it was in stock and I had to order it all for collection at a later date. So I did that and I got a text message confirming that my item was ready to collect in the IKEA store on the 18th of December. So I went and collected my items, took them home, and I'm very, very happy with them. That isn't the scam. Buying from IKEA is pretty easy, fun, and they've got some good stuff there and it's good value. So then I got another text message from IKEA asking me to fill in a survey, which I didn't do because, well, I'm a bad customer. And then following that, a month later, on January the 23rd, I received a text message telling me that my refund was ready to be processed, giving me a reference number and giving me a phone number to call. Now at this point I was incredibly sceptical because I have had situations in the past where I bought things off eBay and then I get a text message from eBay telling me that I need to phone up and confirm that I made a purchase. Can't find any reference online to it being a genuine sort of PayPal thing, and I've never responded to them despite them saying that it's time sensitive and if I don't do it they'll cancel my order, and I assumed this was in the same vein, so I just ignored the message, to be honest. I'm not due a refund, I've got all my items. I'm slightly annoyed that they've been able to sort of spoof IKEA and send me this text message, but I just thought, well, I'll just ignore it like I do all the other scams and spam that we get. 8 days later, I received another text message, different wording, just a reminder to receive your refund, here's your reference number, please call our refunds and payments department on this and then the times. I thought, well, blimey, these scammers, they really are persistent, but you know, they've only got to, if they phone 1,000 people, they've only got to get one person to give them their number, then they can make quite a bit of money from it. So I thought, well, I'll just ignore it. And then yesterday at 9:25 AM, I received a final text message from this IKEA scam number. We're still trying to reach you regarding your refund. Here's your reference number. Call this number. So I did call the number because I was intrigued as to how this scam would play out. Before the call, I did actually look up the phone number from the text message to see if it was legitimate. I found basically 3 references to the number online. 2 of them saying it was the IKEA returns and refunds line, so very few references to the number. I phoned the number and there was a generic answer machine greeting thing saying that the call would be recorded for quality and training purposes. Nothing mentioned about IKEA, and then I was transferred through to a bloke and it sounded like he was just in an empty room. There was no background noise at all. He was speaking very quietly. So yeah, this guy did sound to me like a stereotypical scammer. He asked me what my name was, and despite the fact it says Jacob in the IKEA text message, I thought, well, the first thing I'll do is not give my genuine details. So I told him my name was Roger Hammerstein, which, as you may know, Rogers Hammerstein is a famous film music writing pair. So I wondered whether or not he would notice, but I don't think he did. I also gave him my address as something like 18 London Road, which isn't where I live, incidentally. And then he said, well, this isn't the name we got on file. Okay, it has actually got my name in the text message, which, you know, so I thought, well, I might as well give him my actual name to see, you know, if we can take this a little bit further. So I said, oh yeah, my name is Jake. And he said, okay, yeah, you're due a refund. which I knew because of this text message. I'll tell you what to do in a moment. And I thought, okay, I bet he's going to get me to enter my card details. So then he pressed some buttons on the phone and it went sort of bleep, 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 as if you were trying to sort of con somebody into thinking that your phone was doing something special. And then he says to me, can you enter the long number from the front of your card into your phone, followed by the hash key? And I thought, no, because this is a scam. You're going to take all my card details and then you're going to steal money from my debit account. So I told him as much. I said, I'm not giving you my card details because this is a scam. You don't work at IKEA. I'm not due a refund. And he said, you are. You returned an item to the Birmingham IKEA store. And I said, well, no, I didn't. I've never been to the Birmingham IKEA store. And I said, finally, expect to face the full brunt of the law because I'm going to refer this case to the police. I hung up and I thought nothing more of it. I'd successfully avoided a scam. Aren't I so clever? So later in the day, I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let IKEA know. So I looked up IKEA, I found their head office number, or whatever it was, customer service number, gave them a call, was greeted by a proper IKEA voicemail greeting, if you like. Welcome to IKEA, your call will be recorded, we'll transfer you. There's a huge delay to speak to somebody, as always, like 10 minutes or something. Waited, got through, spoke to somebody who sounded like they were in a call centre, and I explained the situation to them. I said, you know, I feel like I should report this scam to you. Don't know if there's anything you can do about it, but you know, it comes up on my phone as IKEA. And she said, okay, fine. What's the number that you were asked to call? So I provided her with the number. And she said, that's our genuine returns and refunds line. Okay. And she said, what's your name? So I gave her my name and address, and she said, oh, when was the last time you bought something from IKEA? And I said, well, I bought a plant, and I bought a plant pot, and I bought some light bulbs. And she said, oh, and you took them back to the Birmingham branch? And I said, no. And she said, and have you got all your items? And I said, yes. And she said, are any of them damaged? Did you take any of them back to your local branch? And I said, no. And she said, well, something's gone wrong because your items got sent back to the Birmingham IKEA and you are due a refund. Of course, she then said, oh, well, obviously you're not due a refund, so I'll put a note on file and I'll cancel it. Yeah. So then at that point, I did feel extremely guilty and I told her as much. I said I was not very nice to someone in your call centre. I was polite, but I did say to them, you know, you're a scammer. And no wonder he was a bit confused, but also he didn't deal with it particularly well. Probably could have gone to greater lengths to convince me that he wasn't a scammer. I mean, after all, somebody phoning up and asking you to enter your credit card or debit card number into the phone is just a little bit suspicious in this day and age. So yeah, that's the story. It wasn't a scam at all. And yeah, I think it's just actually quite difficult to tell these days. But I would probably do the same thing again, to be honest, because it's safer to be a little bit sceptical about these things than it is just to give your information away willy-nilly, get scammed and regret it later. And maybe if IKEA ever gets round to watching this, maybe you could address this in some way. I'm not sure how, but asking for a customer's payment details over the phone is going to arouse suspicions. I think maybe this situation was made, you know, exacerbated, if you like, by the fact that I wasn't actually due a refund and I'd never been to the Birmingham IKEA store, so it got a little bit confusing, felt like a scam to me. But yeah, I think there's a lesson learned by me in this instance. Anyway, I thought I'd share that story with you quickly. I hope you enjoyed it. Have you got a similar story of thinking that you were scammed, but actually it was genuine? Perhaps all those emails we get from people telling us we've inherited hundreds of millions of dollars from a prince that we never knew existed in our family, perhaps some of those were real. Or perhaps not. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Do give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave a link down below to some more scam videos that I've made that are quite popular. So if you enjoyed this, you might enjoy those. And I shall see you next time for another video.